Welcome back to Bowie Talk, everybody. Before this episode starts, I wanted to add a quick segment in to educate people on a recent event that happened. On Saturday night, just a couple of days ago, members of the Proud Boys gathered in Washington, D.C. and went to two historical Black churches, took their Black Lives Matter signs down, threw them in the middle of the road, and burned them. A lot of the members even put it on social media. The two historical Black churches that were affected was Asbury United Methodist Church and Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church. Everybody, stay tuned for this episode. It's about racism, and you'll see how this event ties in perfectly with everything that we said. After you watch the episode, even go read this article, and you'll see exactly what we were talking about, how people aren't scared anymore to show that they're racist. Donald Trump made that possible. Everybody stay tuned, and thank you for watching.
Welcome to episode 2 of Bowie Talk, where today's topic is about racism. I'm Darius.
I'm Oz.
I'm Fox.
And we'll get right into it. We're going to talk about racism, kind of give you guys our opinion on it, what we've dealt with, you know what I'm saying? Just our view, our overall look about it, racism. And then we'll ask each other questions. But first, we just want to kind of get a feeling for how all three of us as an individual feel about racism. Well, today we have our big cousin Fox with us. So we're going to let him go first and give us his view, his outlook, and maybe some experiences that he's had with racism. Fox is on you.
Well, I tell you what, fellas, it's been a long road as far as I can see it, from my age to, I'm sure y'all age and picked up on some of it too. But a lot, I done noticed this with my age now, and a lot of people think racism is slavery. A lot of people think that it's channeled from slavery. It has nothing to do with slavery. It has to do with more of the treatment of people because of the color of their skin. But other than that, like, most of the time when you mention racism is not talked about enough in the United States. And I'm talking about as far as having a conversation about it. Because Black people don't know how white people feel about it, and white people don't know how Black people feel about it. And I think that's where the gap in the bridge is at. Like, they don't nobody understand each other. And like, white people will say racist stuff and it'll come off real racist to Black people, and Black people be like, man, that's racist as hell. And they'll probably be like, nah, that's just what I talk every day. You know, and the bridge in the gap is so far between, man. It's like, conversation has to be had, but I don't think nobody know how to initiate it from both sides, Black or white. Now, I'm gonna tell you a certain situation that I had to deal with when I was younger, and it kind of broke my heart because it was the first time I ever really had experienced extreme racism. And when I say extreme racism, that is being called the N-word. Like, I was in a skating rink one time, and I was skating, and I couldn't skate good. Hell, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and I bumped into this girl and knocked her down. And I helped pick her up and everything. And after that, she skated around the skating rink the whole night calling me the N-word. And at the end of the night, we, as far as me, my brother, and some of our other cousins, we was standing outside waiting, and her daddy pulled up, and he had this old-fashioned car. I never forget this car. It's like glued in my head. But he had flames coming out the tailpipes on this car. And like, he pulled up, and here he comes with the N words and all that. And he pulled off, and as he was pulling off, my daddy was pulling up. So it was like all kind of chaos could have broke out, because older people don't play that racism shit, that N word calling stuff. They don't play it. You know, it's way different from us being called the N word nowadays than them being called the N word back in their days. Because back in their days, that shit really meant something totally different than what it means today. Which the shit still mean the same, but we don't take it as like they did.
That's true.
Have y'all fellas ever been called the N-word? Or do you ever feel like somebody did something to you to make you feel like the N-word?
I have on a previous job, and I mean, dealing with a lot of like drunk people, and I mean, people on drugs. They've called me that, but I don't let it get to me. I mean, you're not going to move me with just a word. Like you said, I mean, we don't take it as serious as they did back then. But I know some people, they try to, you know, get a rise out of you by
Yeah.
saying that word, try to push you past the limit just so you can do something, so they can react from it, or maybe to have an excuse to call law enforcement, so that way you can be arrested or have law enforcement do something to you. So I don't let it get to me like that at all. What about you, Derek?
So I was in the 6th grade. And I was actually going to this school in DeArmonville. And when me and one of my friends were like the only black people in the class. Everybody else was just white. Well, hell, the school was kindergarten to 9th grade. And I say out of, let's say, 300-400 people in the school, we probably had 8-9 black just people, period. Was married. Me could have been the janitor, one of them. But and me and one of the other black guys were in the class, our music class, and my friend was just, let's just call him C. So C was like, we holding a conversation, and C was, yeah, my nigga, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And there was this one white guy, and we would call him Jay. And Jay was he was cool with us. He was cool with us. And so I don't know if he felt like we were that comfortable with him or whatnot, but not in a demeaning type of in a demeaning manner, but he was like, he responded to the conversation with my nigga such such such. And even though he wasn't trying to be, demeaning towards us or whatnot, we still took it as offense. We took offense to it. You know what I'm saying? And now that I think about it, when I was younger, it was automatically that we was on them. But now that I'm older, when I think back about it, I wouldn't have, like, now I wouldn't have been upset with it, because it's like, I just would have told him, like, hey, I ain't cool with that, you know what I'm saying? But I know that you weren't trying to be mean or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, however, I do know a few people that do take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Young people that take it serious. You're right. The older generation don't do too well with it. But you got a lot of young people that don't do too well with it either. But then you got some that are hearing and they'll laugh about it. You know what I'm saying? Think it's
Yeah.
funny. You know what I'm saying, or whatnot. But it just depends on where you at, who you're around. You know what I'm saying? More so in the South, you hear a person say that, then, black person gonna get on their head, it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, other places, I can't really talk about because I ain't grew up there, but, I know I met a lot of people. I was in the Navy, and black guys, and shoot, they friends, they white friends called them the N word, like they were cool with it. They were from other places, Midwest, you know what I'm saying, up north, you know what I'm saying, but down south, you don't hear that, especially the Southeast. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Like
no.
Georgia,
Good point.
Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, you know what I'm saying? Arkansas. No, you don't hear that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It is rare. You might hear, but it ain't often. But yeah, so we back with you, Foster. You was telling us about
Yeah.
your story and whatnot.
I like the point that you brought up about it being demeaning to people whenever they're using that word. To me, I hate the word. I had a conversation with a white dude one time because I'm an open-minded type person, so I like to speak to people about it. I like to talk to people about it, tell them my experiences, and see what their experiences with it has been. Because the only way to fix a problem, bro, is you got to know the root of it. You know what I'm saying? And
Foundation.
we can't keep throwing dirt over the root, man, and expecting it to just be there, like to grow itself out, man. Like I was having a conversation with a white dude, and it came up about the same situation happened with you with the kid saying the N word and not meaning nothing about it. He asked me, he was like, "How do you feel when another black person call you that?" That's a good question.
So
You know what I'm saying?
right, that
And
is a
and
really good
and
question.
that's a good question. I really, and you know what I'm saying? I was like, I hate the word, You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's coming from in a demeaning type way. You know what I'm saying? Some people say it to be demeaning, and some people say it because it's a phrase now, and
Right.
it shouldn't be a phrase.
Term of
You get
endearment.
what I'm
Term
saying?
of endearment.
Exactly, and that's what made it acceptable for people to let their friends call them that, and to let other people in the neighborhood feel like it's comfortable to say that word without being tapped on. You get what I'm saying?
So
So
I got a question for you, Fox, when you say that. So my question would then be, would you see the word nigger and nigga as the same word, or would you see those two different words? Because, you know, with the and you know what, it's a play on words, but I want to be technical about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes for better combo. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be technical about it. So
yeah,
do you see it as two separate words, or are they the same words? Because you are right. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I think about like why we as black people use the term nigga, but usually when
Ebonics.
yeah, usually when I hear a
Yeah,
white person say it in a demeaning manner, they hit you with that at the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
ER. You hear the ER come out clear,
Yeah,
right?
and when we talking to each other, it's the the at the end.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like
And,
how
and,
you
and, and that makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. But at the same time, this is how I look at it.
mhm.
Right now, you can get a white. Let's just say you can get a white kid to say the GA at the end of it, and he can really mean it in the demeaning type way. You get what I'm saying? So you already know the word automatically calls us dumb. It dumbs us down. It's calling us dumb. And when we put the GA on the back of it, what that says about us? You get what I'm
it could
saying?
it could say that it could say that rather than rather than allow something that was put on you, a name that was put on you to devalue
And
you.
it was.
You flipped that right and made it into something that boom, we're gonna use it too. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't use it. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
similar to you know what I'm saying. Women these days, when you hear the word bitch get thrown around a lot. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I know in early 2000s, especially in the 90s, you never heard a woman call another woman a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really hear it even when women were mad at each other. I didn't hear
No.
bitch going around. Guys
No.
didn't. You know
No.
what I'm saying? But then, 2000, you
If
started
you
hearing,
heard that
especially
word right
now,
now was, I think, the second worst thing from the N word being called to
you
somebody.
like when I tell you like bitch gets thrown around so much, like nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember it was a point where anybody called you a bitch, you were swinging off on them. Then it got to a point where women may have used it with each other, but now, you know what I'm saying? Now, like you hear where a man to call a woman one and a woman to respond, I'm a bad one. You know what I'm saying? Like I just be like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
it's kind
see,
of
and
how
it
term is a use. They flipped it and made it a term of endearment. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? They flipped it. Now you can't make me mad with that word.
yeah.
That's kind of how they
No, you
did it.
can't. You can't.
Now you can't make me mad with bitch because if you call a woman a bitch, now
And,
she
and,
gonna tell
and
you
it
I'm the
is.
bad one. You feel me? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she gonna tell you
I'm a
that. And
bad
so
one. Yeah.
it's
She'll
like
flip
now
it
it's like
around on you.
boom. I can't even make
Yeah.
you mad with that word. So boom. It's a win-win. So that's kind of how, you know what, I can see people looking at, and sometimes I
The
see the word nigga.
GAGR deal.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see the word nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like what we did is boom, we flipped that. You know what I'm saying? You try to make it hurt us, but boom, we flipped that mud and basically said, boom, now we gonna say, what's up, my nigga? You feel me? Like that don't mean I'm not. That
Yeah.
don't mean I'm ignorant, or that don't mean none of that. It's just that's how
Exactly.
we
And see, and,
you
and,
know what I'm
and
saying.
that's what
Ignorance
I
is
was
what we
saying.
call
Like the evolvement of it, man. Evolution is a motherfucker about, and like, you know, like that word means something totally different to me than what it meant to my parents. You get what I'm saying?
right.
It's like when they heard it, it was like, we finna beat your ass type shit. Or when we hear it, we gonna beat your ass type shit. You get what I'm saying? And see, now you at a point now to where that shit it rubs off. It runs off your shoulder whenever somebody call you that shit because you know better. You get what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, that shit still cut like a knife.
I mean,
that shit still cut like a knife. It's still people that get the shit kicked out of them for saying it. So,
I think it's
know,
situational. I think it's more so situational and the what you're in. I feel like it's more so the situation you're in at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because if a person is y'all are laughing or whatnot, and you know what I'm saying, it's your homeboy, you know, probably a black man, you know what I'm saying, and he sit there and say, all right, my nigga, or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, you gonna probably, all right, my nigga, be easy, you know what I'm saying, and let it go. But then you're in a heated argument or whatnot, and then, you know, that a person, you know, it says a white person, and they say, just like a nigger, you know what I'm saying? Then it's taken differently, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about context.
It's said differently.
It's about context. It's about context and the way it's used. But let's get your opinion.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and well, first I want to touch back on something. I know when I said earlier that I've had people call me that on my previous job. Let me go ahead and put it out there. I used to be law enforcement, so I don't want y'all thinking like, what kind of job you used to have where people just used to call you the N-word and you didn't do nothing about it. Well, I want to put that part out there. So with my previous job, of course, being law enforcement, just because somebody called you the N-word don't mean that you could just, you know, beat the shit out of them or something like that. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But me, I really don't care for the word. I don't even say it no more. I mean, if I catch myself saying it, then I'll correct myself. But now I just say, dude, I don't care for the word, no matter if it's the NIGGA or the ER version of it. I really don't care for either one. So I just try to get away from it. But to me, like racism, you know what? Just like we've changed to where racism doesn't like, well, I'm going to say the nigger word. I said it just for this purpose. You know how you said we changed and how it doesn't bother us anymore? Racism in a whole has changed. Me and Fox, we had this conversation a little bit earlier about it, but racism has evolved. Like it's not the same as it used to be. Just like, you know, using the N-word isn't the same as it used to be. You know, now think about like how racism is these days. You know, Donald Trump, he made it look cool to a lot of people, but we still have some people that are the secret racists. That's still just like back in the days when you had doctors, you know, lawyers and stuff like that that were racist. If they had any dealings with the Black community, of course, at their job, they're not just going to say all that racist stuff like they really want to. But when they go to a Klan rally, it was completely different. Oh, they're going to, you know, speak their mind and say everything and come to it. But today, we still have the same way where there are still some secret racists, but you also got a group that are racist that don't mind you speaking their mind. Like I said, because Donald Trump made a lot of it seem cool to just speak your mind on stuff. But you also have a group of people that are racist that work alongside Black people, but they don't care to express their views. They don't have to go attend any rallies or whatever like that. But in the privacy of their home, if there's a conversation with family members or friends, they will speak on it then. But they're not just those blatant racists like, you know, some people are. But in my opinion, yeah, exactly. So in my opinion on it, racism, I don't think is going to ever go away. It is never going to go away because you still have people in their homes, in the privacy of their home, training their kids not to like people of a certain race or skin color. And that's not going to change. People are going to still keep, you know, spreading that hate in the privacy of their home. And then when their kids get older, I mean, even then, it's stuff they see on TV that may even start making a person racist from just certain movies that you watch. Some people may not like the way that, you know, Black people, oh, they mistreated this white guy in the movie because he looks like a nerd or something. This Black dude said, you know, get the fuck out of here, you know, cracker or something like that. And some people, just the same way with terrorism, people, they get converted just for watching videos. That's, you know, that's our world today. You know, videos can, you know, persuade a person to take on certain views. So, but I don't think racism is going anywhere anytime soon. And I feel like you said,
it's gonna keep evolving.
Exactly. And then like you said in our conversation earlier, Fox, people, they need to talk about it. You said it on camera too, but people really need to talk about it and get that out the way, because there's some racist black people, just like there's some racist white people. So
it is racist both sides, yeah. It
yeah,
really is.
A lot of people say a lot of black people feel like black folks can't be racist. Like for some reason, a lot of black folks feel like you can't be racist unless you make it hard for you make it what they say systemically hard for a race. And so they say black people don't have the power to make it systemically hard out here in society, like when it comes to education and law enforcement and jobs and all that.
Exactly.
Black people don't have the means to do that, to change that. So they feel that black people can't be racist. However, me, I have to beg a differ because, I'm studying psychology, and the way that racism is explained to us is an action done to a person because of their race, like a demeaning action that's done to a person. For instance, like if a white man is about to walk in the door and I don't open the door for him because he's white. Just because he's white, I don't open the door. That's that action, and I did that because of his skin color. That is racist. Therefore, I, a black man, can be racist. But a lot of black people.
That makes.
But I'm sorry for interrupting.
In a perfect world, that makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense in a perfect world. But in a world full of racism and bigotry, man, and it's interesting that you said it like and explained it how that's how it's being taught now. Period, across the board. You know what I'm saying? And like people don't see that our granddaddy didn't get a job because he was black. You get what I'm saying? They didn't see that part. They didn't see that our parents didn't get promoted. Your mom and your dad didn't get promoted because of the color of their skin. They'd rather see their children or their nieces or nephews succeed in life faster than a black person. Like they'll pull an 18-year-old out of school and promote him over a 28, 29-year-old black person. My dad told me one time, man, and this was a crazy situation. Like he always told me that, hard work is always gonna pay off. He always taught me that. And he said to me one time that he had a dude that was a supervisor on his job. And on this job, my father wound up being like the first black supervisor hired for a supervisor job on that job. And he told me when he first took the job, it was and I'm talking about entry level job now. This was entry level. He first took the entry level job, and this white dude told him, he said, "Man, you'll never be able to operate this equipment because you're gonna keep that shovel in your hand." And he wound up with that dude job. The dude wound up being the supervisor, and he was over a group of people. And my daddy wound up getting his job. So I hate to hear that word systemic racism now because I don't think racism has a title on it. Racism is racism, whether it's on the job, whether it's them calling you the N-word in your face. People don't like you just because you black is a problem.
Right.
That is a problem.
Like period. Like
it's bigger than the word, the N-word. It's bigger than the on-the-job racism. That means, that shit is crazy.
Right, and I agree with you. Like I wish they get rid of systemic racism, but at the end of the day, what I was saying is that for me, racism isn't only the fact or the idea that one race can make it hard for another race to excel in life. Yes, that is racism, but racism is also the demeaning action that you do to a person simply because of their race. That's all I was getting to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care for the systemic racism stuff. I understand it, but there are a group of black people who feel that black people can't be racist because black people don't have the systemic power to shift white people's lives to make it worse. You know what I'm saying? And which I understand that, and that is racism. But racism is also going out here and simply being rude to a person simply because that person is a white person. You know what I'm saying? That's just a racist action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
That's what I'm trying to put. That's what I want to put out there.
Yeah, and that is true. That is dead on the head with it. Racism, it's gonna go both ways, bro. It is gonna go both ways. I think us as Black people though has to learn how to channel it better now because we are beginning to have more power than what we had back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Like we owning businesses, we buying certain shit that we couldn't buy back in the days. We making the money now that we couldn't make back in the days.
More
We
black,
getting the jobs
more black
that we
women
never
out
thought we
of
would
college
have.
and graduate
Yeah,
more black
you know what
women
I'm saying.
in
And
college.
don't get me wrong, like I didn't heard a lot of young Black kids, and I ain't gonna say kids, but a lot of the young Black Americans say that Obama didn't do a lot of shit for them. But I'm gonna tell you something, like with coming up as a youngster, I never thought I'd see a Black president. My grandmother cried
Right.
the night that he got elected, you know what I'm saying? And that shit meant something to me, you know what I'm saying? That if if we can't get nothing good out of that, like as far as like he did this and didn't do that, we shouldn't expect him to change the world, but he changed our
Right.
culture. He actually
Right.
made it look like he made it possible for us, somebody to look like me and you,
Right.
to become president of the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The first one.
And just think about it, man. You got a Donald Trump that's in office right now, right? And you got President Obama that just left office. And look at the difference between demeanors and characters that these guys possess. You know what I'm saying? We can talk bad about Obama about certain laws and certain things that he did, but look at the stuff Donald Trump did, as far as demeaning to people. He talked about handicapped people. He wasn't diplomatic at all. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And people are all right with that.
Plain and simple is
you got people that's all right with that.
Yeah, plain and simple, Trump got away with some stuff that Obama they would have bashed him so bad for.
Exactly. Bashed him.
Yeah.
But the thing about it with Trump is, you are right. Trump got away with a lot of stuff that Obama wouldn't have gotten away with. The thing about Trump is a lot of the shit that he was saying on TV. Yeah, we say that shit. We say that shit in conversations with people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we don't talk
in the normal conversation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the only thing. It's just it's the fact that hey, you're in the spotlight and you're the president of the United States. Like you're the face of the country. So you can't do that. Like hell, you do that in your private time, that's on you, but not on TV. You know what I'm saying? Now you make us look bad. So
yeah.
Yep.
And it's kind of like he took a lot of that, like you say, it's like he took a lot of that stuff and flipped it around. You know what I'm saying? Made it look good, even though it was horrible.
Right.
Well, I'm saying I like or dislike the man and that, but at the same time, like I say, you look at the narrative that he put out and then look at the narrative Obama put out, it was almost like double standard. You know what I'm saying? If Obama would have came off half as bad as Trump, he would have never got elected president.
Right.
Period. We know this. You know what I'm saying?
We definitely know that. But we're gonna get back to racism and just our view on it. Me, myself, my opinion with racism today, I feel like there is racism. There is a lot of racism, but then at the same time, I feel like some Black people use racism as a crutch. So I feel like some Black folks, like you do have your Black people who go out here and they grind, they bust their ass every day to get what they bust their ass harder than they should have to get what their peers have. You know what I'm saying? And they deal with racism in the classroom, at work. They deal with it. But then you have some Black people who don't they really don't want nothing in life. They don't want nothing in life, but then when life get hard for them, they say, "Oh, they blame it on the system." But is you put yourself in that situation because I'll be honest with you, we come from a rough we come from a rough area.
Yeah,
we come from a rough
area. We came from a situation to where bad was good, if you get what I'm saying. In a lot of certain situations, like it was the only way to put food on the table to a lot of guys for a long time.
Right.
And like, you got to respect the hustle, but at the same time, I'm gonna tell you something. That us as Black people, like you say, Darius, we kind of use racism as a crutch, you know what I'm saying? And like, we'll take people's word for certain stuff before we do any kind of our research ability sucks for us to have so many resources, bro. Like
So
you hear people that get caught up in the system and say, man, it's the white man's fault that I got did like this and did that. But they won't do their own research. Like they'll take other people's word, like this job won't hire felons. This they won't do this for felons, or they won't do this and that for felons. But at the same time, you got people that'll tell you, and this is the craziest thing, like you have people that actually tell you to quit a job if they ain't treat you right, right? They'll be like, man, they ain't gonna promote you. You might as well quit that shit, man. They done did you quite wrong twice. But at the same time, have you ever heard somebody tell somebody to just get out the street to win somebody's parents?
yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
you hear a very, very few amount of people telling people to get out the streets, but
Yeah, if they ain't family, I'm talking about just like
don't hear a lot of folks saying
you know.
You don't hear a lot of people say, well, actually, you know what? You do hear a lot of people saying it just depends on where you're at and who you're around. Because, you know, you get a lot of people. If you in the streets, then most likely they not gonna tell you that because this is what we know. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in the streets, that's my ideology. You know what I'm saying? Hustle, hustle. So what I know is how to help you survive is put a pack in your hand and show you how to hustle. But now, if it's a person who's not in the streets, who you know what I'm saying, who's out here, you know, what society would consider being a civil servant or being not even a civil servant, but just being a civil person, you know, a civil individual.
Somebody that made it out.
Yeah. So somebody who's just out here, they're living their life on the right side of the law, you know, according to society, you know. So what they will see is, you know, your hustle is against the law. You know what I'm saying? But that's all you know. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the hustle, but the thing about it is I understand the hustle, but you have more people who prefer. Let's talk about like the people in our you know communities that would. You got some people that would you know that do have ailments and have issues to where they're stuck in a certain spot. They're just stuck there. But then you have some people who know, hey, coming up, dang, if I continue down this route where I don't finish school or I don't at least get my GED or you know what I'm saying, I don't try to keep from getting felonies, then I'm not gonna leave this messed up area, this messed up environment. Like we know that. We know that. Like by the time we get 16, I don't, you know what I'm saying, unless you have a disability, you can't tell me that you don't know that, hey, this is the route I need to take in order to get away from him. You know that.
And Darius, that's a good ass point you just made.
You know what I'm
and
saying? You know
it's almost like
for you to be able to try to blame somebody else for why you stuck somewhere, you know, to me, there's a handful of people who can do that. There's a handful of people who can do that. And that's why I say that racism is a crutch. Because there's only a handful of people that can really blame other folks or just they like let people with disabilities like shit. Who you can blame? You can blame your mama.
They got railroad. They got real life railroad.
That's why you're stuck here because you can't work. So the government is gonna give you a disability check, but that shit ain't work. You can't go live out here in Cali or go ball out. You got to live on a fixed income like a retirement. You feel me? So, but those people who put themselves in position. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a handful of people who got fucked by the system. Police planted shit on them. You know, police did some fuck shit. The system fucked them. There's a handful. There's a handful. But you got a lot of folks who gonna tell you that they're innocent and they did the shit that they got hemmed up for. No, they got the felony for. You know what I'm saying? Or they chose, I want to go out here and hustle. I want to go out here and hustle or whatnot and catch this felon or go kick those in, commit rob. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't shitting on what you do. That's what your life is what you choose to be. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you chose the path that you went down and then you blame it on other folks. And that right there irks me that you want to blame somebody else because, bro, we all come from an environment that was rough. All of us got friends who we know that's dead or in prison right now. And we could have went down that same path. But at a specific age, hell, I can tell you it wasn't even 16. Even though I was bad as hell, I knew by 10 that boom, if I keep doing this, I ain't going nowhere.
I'm going straight to jail.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going. It's two places I'm going. It's either
Yeah.
jail, it's either jail
Or
or
hell.
hell. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
That's the truth.
that's why I
That's the
say
truth.
that racism is used as a crutch, but people see that as Uncle Thomas. You know what I'm saying? They see it as Uncle Thomas. But hell, I never watched the movie, but a lot of people tell me who watched the movie say Uncle Tom saved all the black folks. That's crazy.
So, man, you know what's crazy though? Like we got a mentality problem in the black community, but at the same time we have an ego problem in the white community. Like when we cry racism, to them, like real live racism, just like the Breonna Taylor type deal, and you know all this other nonsense that they've been having going on, man. Like they tell us to stop whining. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Our communities don't make it no better by us killing each other and all that right there. But we not animals. You got very civilized black people here, and everybody that's rioting and everybody that's out there protesting is not rioting. Let me rephrase that. But that's the way they look at all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's like they thought one monkey dumb, all monkeys dumb. That's the way they was thinking back in the day. And that shit wears off. Like that's one thing that haven't lost is run in the racism thing. It's like the way that they think about us in one area is always gonna be that way. They always think we've been animals, and if
It
you go
always
look
been.
at yeah,
Racism always been.
like look at the neighborhoods we come from. You know, how often did you see a white person just walk in the neighborhood? You know, like walking their dog around the neighborhood. You didn't hardly ever see that shit. You know, like, but we look for them. Like, I'm gonna tell you something else too. Like, the black community have a bad problem with giving back because we feel like giving back is giving money, but it's not. It's like actually showing up to your PTO meetings and actually doing what you're supposed to behind your child,
To the
you know,
game.
and trying to help another child if you can. You know, we don't have that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I ain't gonna say we don't have it no more. It's not as strong as it used to be. You know, we wait on the government to do too much for us.
Right. That's why I say we use.
And that's just not the federal government either. That's like all forms of government, all the way down from your city to you down to the federal. You know what I'm saying? That shit, we can't sit around and wait on them people to educate our children, bro.
Right.
If we do that, we'll be sitting ducks, bro. We'll be sitting ducks. Your child, if you want your child to know what they're teaching them, then that's what you're gonna get out of it, bro. The
Hey,
whole way.
I had a conversation with this guy in the gym, older white guy, right when COVID started, and we were talking about like the kids been out of school and us having to actually teach. And you know what? I was like, yeah. So now, parents got to be more involved in their kids' work or whatnot. You know, and he was like, but shouldn't you be already? You're like, shouldn't you be already? You know what I'm saying? I had to think about it. He's right. He's right. But then I also
He
had to
hit on the head with it.
But then I also had to think about this. We were in the gym in the morning time, where I say around like 10, 11. So we were in the gym from 10 to like probably between 10 and 12. You got to look at this also. It's wrong the way I won't say it's wrong the way he thinks, but it's not all the way through because our job permit us to be in the gym at that time. A lot of people are still working. So when those people work who don't get that free time and they get home because they tired and stuff, they may be too tired to help their kids with their work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying like it sounded good, which he was right. We should be in our kids, in everything our kids do and more involved in their schoolwork. But you got to worry about who working those 12, 14 hours a day and busting their ass for minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? They tired. Those people busting their ass harder than people making 100K.
Yeah.
They do. Like they do every day on a consistent basis. They do.
It is. That's just like a person that's making $10,000 a year can't take a vacation like a person making $100,000 a year.
Exactly. You can't like so. It's like you might be tired. You may be tired once.
Yeah.
But man,
now listen at this. I got a quick question for both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's because like I know y'all done been around a lot of area of people, man. Like it's crazy. So when you had to deal with your racism, how did you feel as a man? Like when you was called the N word, or how did it make you feel as a man? Like did you want to lash out, or did you want to, or did you did you want to keep your and I'm talking about, did you want to keep your composure? Or did you know you had to keep your composure to keep your job? Did you pick your job over your composure? You know what I'm saying? Did how did it make you feel to be part of racism? Like, was it
Well, to me,
like,
I'll go ahead and answer first. Me, I still felt like a man, even though I didn't check the person and go and get into a pissing match with him or go back and forth with him. I still felt like a man because I knew if I would have got into it with the guy and just say everything would have went bad, I could have lost my job. Then I would have been the person that's out of work saying, "Hey, well, at least I'm a man. I didn't let him talk to me any kind of way." But it's the way you got to do that. I told the guy, "Hey, you can call me whatever you want. It's not gonna move me. Either way it goes, you're still going to jail tonight." I mean, it's the same way with flip it around. If I was the person sitting there doing all that cursing to the white officer, he could have reacted off of it, and I would have been looked at as aggressive. Right? Still been taken to jail
of
and
course.
everything. And then he could have been saying anything back that he want to. What would they have done back at the station? Maybe have told him, "Hey, watch your mouth when you out there. You remember you got on the body camera or something like that." But no, flip it back around, back on me. Like me, I'm not going to let that person move me and me possibly lose my job over it or have some type of administrative action happen. No. First of all, nobody's going to mess with my money.
Right.
That's what I'm not going to let happen. Now, it'd been a different story out on the street and this person would have said this to me. Yeah, I'll check the person, but I'm not going to get into a back and forth match with them. I'm just going to let that person know that you're not going to disrespect me. But if it would have started like getting too elevated to where it's about to be a fight and all that, still though, I'm not about to let somebody move me in that manner to where I let words push me to that point. Like, no, it's not about to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. But
it ain't like you punched you in the face.
Yeah, a punch in the face is not gonna justify you being a man just because you reacted off somebody calling you a word. That is not that isn't.
Yeah,
that's not justification. So if you go back and tell somebody
like they say, because you lost your shit, right?
Yeah, and then think about this right here. Think about I don't know an exact number, but think about how many times this has happened throughout history where a white man has pushed that black man to the edge, call him a nigger or something like that. Black man react off of it. Yeah. And then what about the white man pull out a gun or something like that and shoot you and call it self-defense?
Yeah.
And
it's funny that you said that like that, because in that case, it has been a lot of that going on.
Exactly.
And think about it's crazy. And society has to pick up that we got a problem right there, man. Like, it's not okay. Most of this stuff is not okay. Like the way you handled it is not the same way a white officer would have handled you. And you being law enforcement. And they would have treated you totally different had you been on the other side of the law in that situation. That's what I think. I'm not part of law enforcement, but at the same time, I have dealt with many with many law enforcement agents and stuff, and it's like some of them can be total dicks too. You know what I'm saying? And I know that some people on the streets can be just as bad. You know what I'm saying? So, when you get, like you say, you got two goats right there butting heads, man. That shit is bad, bro.
Yeah,
the whole situation can turn out real rough.
Exactly.
So what about you, Darius, man? Well, you chime in on this, man. How did your racism make you feel, bro?
I don't know. So when I really think about it, actually, I told Oz this not too long ago. I really don't feel like I've ever just dealt with racism like that. To be honest with you, I don't feel like I've ever dealt with racism.
Blatant racism.
I never really dealt with blatant racism. Like, the most racist thing I feel like I really probably dealt with was, I won't say that, but it wasn't from white people. It was from Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Like, down here in Texas, it was actually by Hispanics.
Still racism.
Yeah.
Like,
And you see, racism it goes like you say, it's a broad field, man. It's
It really is.
huge.
It come from anybody.
Exactly.
Comes from anybody.
Yeah, when I was in Saudi Arabia, I had to deal with it. I mean, I done dealt with it from other black people. Like I really like in my previous job, I'm sitting here trying to talk to this black dude. He high on something and he's drunk. And I mean, he just got done showing out. Like, I mean, crazy. So, and I'm sitting there trying to talk to him, and my white coworker, he couldn't handle him because the black dude, like he was buff. I mean, stocky dude and everything. But he was intimidated by the black dude. So he called me for backup. And then when I got there, the black dude, I'm trying to talk to him calmly and everything. Like, hey, man, I don't want you to get in trouble. Let's go ahead and step over here and talk. You know, he's sitting there cussing my partner out. And then next thing you know, he want to, you know, start calling me a Uncle Tom ass nigga and all that kind of stuff like that. Like, dude, come on. That's not going to work. Like, really? Oh,
yeah, man. See, and you know, it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation.
Yeah, right. Because you know, because you got some black people that look at it like, okay, well, this black person acting a little bit too good. He like he's the white man's boy or something like that. You know, they
I don't have to live that life. Like I don't have to live that lifestyle. Like I don't have to be, you know, just because I see a police officer, I don't have to be mad or be belligerent or whatnot. Or you know what I'm saying, be okay with you being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, why can't I just be a civil black person? Like that don't mean I'm Uncle Tom. That don't mean I want to be white. Man, I'm just trying to stay out the way.
Exactly.
I just don't want unnecessary attention on me. That's simply what it is. Like I just don't want unnecessary attention on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go out here and
you know what? That's a bold statement you just made. Like want unnecessary attention on yourself. Like and if you notice, most encounters black males have, most black males, especially the black males we from, most of the encounters that they have with law enforcement usually be aggressive as fuck. So you know,
that's what I'm saying. And that's the notion that given by any individual like outside of the black race. Like when they see a black man, they see prevalent. And people and you know, like since the 1800s, like, you know, before then, you know what I'm saying? But it really got big around the 1890s where black men started to be made out to be a predator. You know what I'm saying? Like we were just these rough and aggressive ass guys. And you know, it surprises folks because, you know, usually people see hair as intimidating or whatnot. And just like Jenna was saying earlier about the guy, you know, he was buff, so he intimidated the white officer. So with size, you see, you know, people get intimidated too. And which, like, you know, me, like I like to talk to people. I work out. I got a lot of hair. So what I do is I speak to a person like, especially like an older white woman or whatnot who you know, who's more prone to being racist than a younger person you would expect. You know, so or older white guy or whatnot. I speak to him or whatnot and catch him off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
and that's the way. You know that's a good way to be, bro. That's a good way to be, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something, and this is the way I look at a lot of the situations. Like fucking energy, trying your best to hate somebody because of the color of their skin, bro. That's a lot of negative energy to waste. Like what kind of energy you got to give that shit, bro?
Yep.
Like, you know, you got to be like a special person to put that kind of energy off. You got to be really fucked up in the mind to be able to put that kind of energy off, man. You know, your mental got to be kind of bad, you know, because racism, dog, is it's bad enough by itself. You know, you just calling somebody the N-word is bad. You got to work your nuts up to do that.
A lot of people see it as hate, but it's really fear. It's fear. It's what it is to be racist is to be in fear that another race is going to simply take away some of the resources that you have. And that's simply what it is. Because now I tell people all the time, I tell black folks all the time, if black people had came and snatched white folks from Europe and brought them over here and made them out of slaves or whatnot, would we ever want to give up that power that we had over them? Like the fact that we make more money, we live in better environments, we control the banks, we control the government, we control all that. Will we ever? No, we will not. Regardless of how good we is, you know what I'm saying? The majority of us are gonna be like, nah, we need to keep that hold because if we give it to them, then eventually they can try to flip it and we be on the losing end. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, you know what I'm saying, I try to think deep into it and get folks to understand, like, you know, no, it's not good. No, it's not good, but understand why it's a struggle and why there are still so much racism. Because those old, especially those older people who were here back in the day during slavery, you know what I'm saying, or when slavery was coming to an end, you know, they were here during those eras, the Jim Crow eras and all those older white people, they're still here. You know what I'm saying? And so they still want that, they still want to hold that power. But you got this younger generation who's coming like, man, we all people. You know what I'm saying? And but you got some younger young people that are racist,
Yeah.
but that comes from being taught by the older generation.
But see, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something else too. Like, I don't think our parents bred us to be aggressive toward them as much as they are toward us, too.
I don't
Because
know. We had a few people in our family who you know what I'm saying, who didn't care for white people. You know, I'll be honest, you know what I'm saying? We had a few folks in our family, and it was more so the females, I believe, you know what I'm saying? They really didn't care for, you know, white people like that. And there was it was quite a few, you know, black families though I knew. The grandparents and the great grandparents were the ones who really didn't care.
Now, when you talk about the grandparents, like I know our grandfather, he couldn't stand white people. But
Exactly.
he wasn't racist though. You get what I'm saying? Like he didn't he just didn't trust.
If it's just up here, then it's just prejudice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? Like, and he didn't trust the white man coming into the house. Like, you got to think about it. Granddaddy was born in the 20s, so he didn't trust white people coming in the house because when they came in back in them days, it was taking you up out of there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I understood
his philosophy.
I understood what his leg on that one was, man.
So
he didn't trust them, so you know.
And
I don't think we was bred not like that.
I think we have our own mind, regardless of how we grew to have our own mind, have our own thought process. Like we can't think like everybody tells us to think. We have to go out here and see stuff for ourselves, go through stuff, you know, or witness stuff, and then that right there formulates our own opinion and our way of thinking. And so a lot of people will get mad at you when you don't think the way that they want you to think, because they feel like, oh, you black, you from this place, so you should think this way. No, I shouldn't think a certain way. You gotta let me think the way that I want to think. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes us special. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things that I deal with today. You know, people don't want to accept the way that people don't want to accept that you have a different mindset. Like, you know, I choose not to just go off of what you tell me or the select few things that you show me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you see when people try to make black folks look bad, all you see in the news and the media is black men doing aggressive things. You know what I'm saying? So off that, automatically, all they want you to do is think that black guys are bad people. But they're not gonna show you where LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, put money into education, or, you know, you got the guy that plays for the New Orleans Saints, the linebacker who puts money into education, you know, education as well. You got all these people that sit out here and do this stuff, you know, or shit like our 2010 class, we went and gave turkeys to the Salvation Army, you know what I'm saying, last Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? So they don't show you that kind of thing. So that's why I tell people, you can't think the way that other people try to force on you, because they want to steer your ideology down into their beliefs. And so, you know, we can't align ourselves with other folks. We have to just think our own way. And that's when people start to call you Uncle Tom, when you start to, you know, piece stuff together. You know, life's really not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like in the streets. Motherfuckers tell you that, you either trap or die. It's either trap or die. But then you realize once you get out here in society, I don't have to trap. I don't have to trap or die. You know, you start to realize.
Let me ask you this. Like, when people, cause I didn't heard both of y'all say the term Uncle Tom, right? I done heard both of y'all use it tonight. Like, do y'all think that's part of reverse racism?
What?
When your own race doing it, that's basically your own race calling you. You know, basically what I really don't dig deep into the term Uncle Tom, because I feel like
we have the wrong definition for Uncle Tom, though, because a lot of people who, you know, read books who read the book or watched the movie, they all say the same thing. They said that the guy who played the
They
Uncle
got a
Tom,
different term for it.
they said that he actually saved black people. They said he was the one who actually saved them. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw a clip on it. Sears was beat his ass with a whip, and the black people took him in like he had took that whooping for them. So it's like now I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, all along we've been thinking that Uncle Tom been
We've been fed the wrong shit all along.
You a black man who want to be white and you against your own kind. But then let's say we watch the movie and we find out that he was actually a person who was helping black folks. That's another. That's basically the same thing what we've been talking about, thinking for ourselves. Because now we've been thinking how our culture has told us Uncle Tom was for 30 years. But then we watched the movie and realized Uncle Tom was out here saving us. And that right there goes back to what I was saying. We have to learn to think for ourselves.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's like a slap in the face, ain't it?
It is like.
What about you, all? What you feel about that term?
Same thing as earlier. I really don't let terms get me. I mean,
exactly. Words don't hurt, man.
I mean, it's just words, because either way it go. I mean, you saying anything to me is not gonna make me less of a man.
Right.
I'm still going home at the end of the day feeling the same way, no matter what. So I mean, but like I said, I still will check somebody for disrespect, but I'm not gonna take it to that level to where it's getting physical or anything like that. I mean, I'll just go ahead and let you go. Like that means nothing.
You just gonna speak your mind?
Opinion and give you my opinion, keep it pushing. Like the thing about it is we grown.
Keep it pushing.
Like when we were younger and we weren't responsible for our actions or whatnot, and boom, if I got in trouble, then you should call my mom, I'm gonna go home. Cool, that's cool, man. But now it's like I have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So if I go out here and I'm out here and I'm gonna whoop you for disrespect, you know what I'm saying? If it's something that's not that serious, you know what I'm saying? And I swing on you for that, then now I'm gonna have to go spend time or take money out of my daughter's pocket, you know what I'm saying, to bail myself out of jail, you know what I'm saying, or take time away from her. So it's like, bro,
I'll put your daughter in a certain situation.
Yeah, I don't even put myself in that situation to deal with disrespect. Like once I feel the vibe, when that shit hit me, and I feel like something before you even get to talking, I done already moved on. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason, you don't even know why I done moved on. Like I'm gone. Like I don't sit around negativity no more.
And I'm gonna tell you something else.
That negativity coming on. When a person gonna do something, when a person gonna disrespect you, you feel it coming. You had prior beef with this person, so when they see you, it's on sight. They're gonna say what they gotta say, or whatever y'all talking about, or whatever's going on right now. That stuff is leading on to that disrespect that's about to come. So I already know it's coming, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of it, especially if I ain't trying to go there. Like if I ain't trying to go there, like I don't got time for that. So boom. You know what? I already feel this right about to go somewhere, so let me go ahead and keep it pushing. Now that's gonna be disrespectful because I'll walk off while a person talking. But if I feel like you're trying to get to that point of being disrespectful, then what is what it is? We're gonna that disrespect with disrespect. While you talking, I get to walking. You talk to my back.
So I know we running out of time. We had a pretty good long conversation on this one. A lot of good info too. But for our closing remarks, Darius, you got anything you want to go ahead and say quickly about racism?
Yes, sir. So one thing I just want to say about racism, I just feel like it's. I don't feel like it'll ever go away, but I feel like it's not as bad as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we as a people, as a black people, have to really look at what we call racist these days. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of racist things that go on, but can we keep ourselves out of certain situations or predicaments, by our own actions? A lot of actions that we feel like are placed on us, or a lot of the situations, or the harsh environments and the things that we go through that we feel are placed on us by others due to our race. We have to reevaluate that and see, hey, did I do something that put me in this position? So I just feel like we got to stop using that as a crutch.
Yeah.
So, Fox, you got any last remarks you want to say about it?
Yeah, man. I'm actually kind of impressed right now with the way that we evolving from the Jim Crow era racism to now where we are now. Like I say, I woke up one day and I realized that somebody that looked like me be the president. So do I think racism is dead? Hell no, it ain't nowhere near dead. It's not going nowhere. But I actually think if our conversations with white people and white people conversations with ours more about racism and why this happened and why this didn't happen, I think if we got the better notion of what those terms mean to us and them, I think we'll bridge the gap a little further. It's a big gap still in the bridge, but I think it's getting close. It's smoothing out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't as blatant as it used to be. It's more economic, um, political. I think racism is more on that level now than what it was back in the day. And it being straight out the streets. You can't go into this bathroom or drink from this water fountain. That ain't even in the era no more. We can buy our own water fountains now. But now it's more like the community you come from, the situation you come from. Like they consider the hood to be the hood. Like that's where black people live. You get what I'm saying? That term means black people.
Yeah.
It don't mean neighborhood like Mr. Rogers. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got a lot of growth that we have done, but I think we as black people have to grow a little more. Our education got to step up a little bit. And I'm talking about as far as us investing into our own education. They're not teaching us about the uh, George Washington Carver. They're not teaching us about goddamn Booker T. Washington, the people and what they meant and what they stood for. They're not teaching us about those people. You know what I'm saying? I think our legacy is built off of all our black inventors and all of our black writers, all of our black constitutionists. But at the same time, because it was a lot of black constitutionists too, and lawyers and all that, back then, whenever black people didn't mean a whole lot to black people. But they're not teaching us about them people. It's a lot of people that y'all don't know about that y'all should have learned about when y'all was in elementary school. But I think our education got to step up, man, and us as black people got to take care of our education too. We got to start investing in our kids and in our communities, man.
Right.
That's what I think. Make white people respect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My last remark on it is, like you said, times are changing, and I think America is doing a better job at exposing these races. Like with all, thank you to all the Karens out there that are being recorded. You're making it to where all racists are scared to come out and be public now. But you know what? If you are racist, yeah, stay in your hiding or whatever like that. We don't need you in America. All you're doing is just continuing to build that stain. So, because right now that's a big stain in America. So, you know, I feel like that racism, like Darius said, isn't going anywhere. I said that earlier too. And, it's not, but the route that we're going, how people are exposing these racists and they're getting fired from their jobs for it and everything, people are going to end up going back into hiding like they were before Trump sooner or later. But it's just going to take a little bit of time. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
But only time will tell. Only time will tell. But everybody stay tuned to the next
that's
episode. That's going to
interesting
be
too because back in the day, black people didn't have that didn't have that leg to stand on. When a white person come up on the job and call you the N word in the heartbeat, and not get. So now you got them to where they making crazy phone calls and getting put on their pedestal and pushed off of it by phone call. So that's a big step, man. That's a big step. It may not be the mandate that we need to put on the moon, but at the same time, it's close to peroxide, bro. It's trying to stop the bleeding. Oh man.
But yeah, everybody, like I said last episode, and I'm going to say it every episode, please subscribe and like this video. If you subscribe, you will get a notification when we post our next video. But everybody stay tuned. As you can see, we're going to have better and better videos coming with very good topics. It's going to be some deep stuff that we're going to talk about as well. But as Harriet Tubman would say if she was alive right now, we out.
We's out.